Hey Rotary Swing golfers, welcome back to week number 3 of the Playing the Best Golf of Your Life in 6-week series. First off, I want to start off by apologizing that we didn't get week number 3 video out on time. We had a little bit of a production error in that video. We had some mic issues as well, so we wanted to be able to circle back, redo that video, and make sure that you got some really high quality content here so that you can start to progress your way into playing some of your best golf. So I know the first couple weeks we talked about, number 1, we were working on making sure that we didn't have a lot of big time head movement. Also working on loading up our trail leg and maintaining our spine angle while we rotate our body. And number 2, we worked on really shaking out the tension in the arms. Now this week, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be working on adding weight shift, okay, to a centered off body position. And we're gonna be working on controlling the bottom of the swing arc. Now, what does that mean to control the bottom of the swing arc? Well, why are golf professionals so good day after day with their ball striking? Well, they get the golf club to bottom out in the same spot pretty much every single time with their irons. That's a really critical part to good, consistent ball striking, is getting the golf club to bottom out or knowing where it's gonna bottom out every single time. So that's what we're gonna be focusing on this week, is getting the club, allowing our body to feel like it has some movement in it to help us create some momentum, help us create some of that speed, but also get the club to bottom out in that same spot for good, consistent ball striking. So let's go ahead and take a look at that drill now. And we'll start to lay out a rep range for you, and then we'll start to talk about what we're gonna be doing in week number 4. Okay guys, so the way I've got this drill set up this week is we're gonna be focusing in on adding weight transfer and getting the club to bottom out in the same spot every single time. So if you're having a hard time with this and you're really starting to lose some of the stuff that we talked about in video number 2, I would suggest that we circle back to that, really work on eliminating some of that tension in the arm, because it's gonna be really critical for us to be able to get the club to bottom out and not really feel like we're manhandling the club here. So what I've done is I've grabbed 3 golf balls. Okay, and this is something you can do right at your house. And these first 2 balls that are closest to me are going to indicate my stance width. Now I've got the ball just on the inside of my toe here on both sides here. Okay, and that's just going to be a representation of my stance width. And this is going to make sense to you here in just a second. And what I want you to know here is that we're going to be setting up about 2 inches outside of neutral joint alignment on both sides. And if you're unclear as to why we suggest that you set up 2 inches outside of neutral joint alignment, or what the heck that even means, then I've got a great video that's in the link in the description below. You can go ahead and click that video. We'll talk about the importance of determining how to get proper stance width based off of neutral joint alignment and not worrying about shoulder width apart, which is something that we've always heard through golf instruction. So, all right, so we're gonna be 2 inches outside of neutral joint alignment here on both sides, okay? And this third ball is gonna be a representation of where I want the golf club to bottom out. Okay, now how do I determine where this ball is gonna be? So here's what I want you to do is I want you to set up about 50-50, okay? Both arms are gonna be hanging relaxed, so 50% of my weight in my right leg, 50% of my weight in my left leg. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep my arms and my head really still, and I'm gonna shift my weight over to my left side by rolling to the inside part of my right ankle here. Okay, so now what I want you to notice here is, because my arms are gonna be hanging freely, you see how my club moved forward a little bit here? This is where the golf club would be bottoming out. This is the lowest point of the golf swing here. Okay, so that's where the golf club is on its last point down and its first point up. So we want to understand that that's the bottom of the swing arc, because I've shifted my weight left, both my arms are relaxed, okay, and they're in a straight position. Now normally, because we want to hit the golf ball, we want to hit down on the golf ball to help compress it, we would want the ball just behind the bottom of the swing arc. Okay, so you can see that this is where my bottom would be, so my ball position would be right here. Now, the reason why I have this ball up in the position where the bottom of the arc is it's just an indicator, okay? It's just for you to have a little piece of notification if you're getting the club to bottom out in the same spot. So again, the way this drill is gonna work, all right, was we're gonna set up, we're gonna have our left arm hanging freely, okay, our lead arm, and we're gonna go ahead and move our lead foot in towards our right, and we're gonna swing the club back to about hip high. Okay, so now what I want you to try and focus on here is we're gonna step back out, okay? So you can see that I'm back into my proper stance width, and at that point, I'm just gonna let the arm fall and release. Okay, so I pull it back in, hip high, step out, head still. You can see that that club bottomed out in a pretty good spot there. Step out, let the arm fall and release. Okay, that club bottomed out in a pretty good spot. Step out. Okay, once you get 20 of these in a row, then you can start to increase the amount of width to this swing. So we're gonna start out with going hip high. Now we're gonna go back to about shoulder height. Okay, so we're gonna pull our foot in, we're gonna shift our weight, and the arm is gonna fall and release. Now, if you notice that your club's coming down a little bit on the steeper side, chances are you're allowing your head to move a little bit too much. So once you step out, I want you to hold your head really still. Okay? And what that'll do is it's gonna help you create some secondary axis tilt, which is just simply the spine leaning back, which helps shallow the golf swing out. Once you get 20 of those in a row, then I want you to go a little bit further. You're gonna almost go into almost a full swing mode here. So we're gonna step out, let the arm fall and release. Once you get 20 of those in a row, then start the process over the next day. I want you guys to work on this at least 5 out of 7 days. If you can't get 20 in a row, don't worry about it. Circle back to video number 2, start to work on tension, and then come back to this video and you'll start to see that, okay, now I'm adding weight shift, I'm eliminating that tension in the arm, I'm stepping out, the arm is swinging, and the golf club will bottom out in the same spot every single time. All right, guys? So I wish you guys the best of luck this week. Good luck. Post up in the comments below if you have any sorts of questions on this particular drill. This is going to be mission critical to make sure we get this down before we start talking in video number 4 about how to maintain spine angle through the hitting area properly so you don't have any early extension of the spine. Good luck, guys. Let's make it a great day. We'll see you next